This is Han Solo, and I'm going to be keeping you company for the next few hours right here on the Midnight Shift.
It's time to BS.
So you're one of 9 kids?
One of 9.
You are one of 9 kids. Holy
Yep.
shit. God bless
Yeah.
mama.
Oh no, it's not mama, it's daddy. He was a Rolling
No
Stone.
kid. Really?
Yeah, man.
So before you get into that, introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, so my name is Liz. Long it's Lizette. So, but people call me Liz because Liz is Liz, you know.
Yeah.
Reason I decided to call it one of 9 is because that's what makes me me. I'm unique, you know. And there's 5 different baby mamas. All the siblings, for the most part, get along. We've never been in the same room together, so
Wow.
yeah. No, and we go from, I believe the oldest is, I believe 50, and the youngest is about to be 18.
Wow.
Yeah. So
No kidding.
Yep, no fucking kidding. And then the goal for this is to one day unite, you know, just build a brand from it, and little by little, you know, each sibling gets their own cut, gets their own piece as far as who they are, their own entity and stuff like that. And hopefully we can all be in the same room one day.
So have you met all 8 of your siblings, or it's just
yeah.
like you met all 8 of them?
I met them all at different parts of my life. Well, I have one full brother, which is from my mom. So it's me and him. His name is Mitch. He's number 3. So usually when I have him on the show, I number them. I don't like, I let them say their names, but I'll be like, I have number 3 on the show today, you know. So I've had number 3 on the show. I've had number 9 on the show. I've had number, what is it? 5. No. Yeah. 5 and number 7. So little by little, I want to have all of us, and then eventually the larger bunch.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So how the fuck do I word this? We can curse here, by the way. So this is,
guys, shoot for
it's
it. I'm
even
from
better.
New York. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm from Long Island.
Fuck out of here. Really?
Swear to God. Yep. Swear to God.
What part of Long Island?
I'm from
Blue
Suffolk County, Blue Point. I'm from Blue Point originally. So
Shit, look at you.
So I actually I like the city. I like this people that I've pissed off people from the city before, because me and my fiance, we went over to where the fuck did we go to? The Museum of Sex, not too far from Broadway.
Manhattan.
Yeah, over in Manhattan. I love the New York culture. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore. I love 90s rap. I absolutely love it. I'm old school with that shit.
Same here.
And
this rap right now, shitty as hell.
you'll fit right in.
Shitty as hell.
You'll fit right in.
Yeah, man. But that's cool, man.
Yeah, I'm a beach person.
Okay.
I love anything to do with the water, but I love all cultures. I'm a jack of all trades when it comes to people in that regard, which is like, it's kind of weird to say because we're in such a divided headspace nowadays, which is weird. Like, you can't just, you know, go out to someone like, oh, hey brother, how you doing? Or hey sister, how you doing? Good to see you, and shit like that. Like, how's mama? How's dad? Like, how's your siblings and shit like that? You know, we can't say that now anymore, and that's strange to me, because I've tried to be a very outgoing person when it comes to talking to people, and that pisses off wifey. It pisses her off because she's like, stop talking to people. I'm like, what? I'm
That's
friendly. I
me,
can't help
man.
myself.
I fucking talk to my shadow if you let me. Every time I go out, I'm just like, I talk to everybody. I'm not mean. Like, I can have a restless bitch face, but that's just my face, you know?
Yeah, I feel that.
But I talk, like, if you say hi to me, I'm gonna say hi, unless you're like being disrespectful or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But growing up in New York, you're just like thrown out there, and as far as like the soul, if you're antisocial and you were born and raised in New York in the 90s, then that's just you. That's some brain chemical imbalance or some shit. Because
Yeah.
you were forced to talk to people. You were at a young age sent to the grocery store. You had to be social. There's no such,
Of course.
no such shit as being a shy kid. Like they would force you, say hi. Every house you
Yeah.
get, say hi. Look, say hi. That's your uncle. Go say hi. And you're just like, oh, I don't wanna. But that's just how it is.
It is. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's interesting because, you know, in the age of social media as a whole, we're talking to people more online than in person.
Yeah.
And, you know, you and I met through Instagram. Like you followed you followed the show on Instagram. I checked you out and was like, she's got some stuff going for her. She really does. She's got some good content going on for her.
I had like 2 years. I was like, man, I want to start something. Like, I don't get me wrong. Like, I want to be out there for the right reasons. I don't,
Of
you
course,
know, I don't
yeah.
want to go viral because I'm like some TikTok dancer. First of all, I can't do these TikTok trends or whatever. I can't do that shit.
Look at me. Do you think I can? Like, let's be honest.
Like, let me just put that out there right now. I'm like, I want to be out there for the correct reasons. Like, there's so many things that I feel like I can put out to the world. But it was like 2 years. I'm like, what the fuck should I do? How should I do it?
Yeah.
And then somebody was just like, yo, you're funny as shit. Why don't you just go out there? Like, you're naturally, like talkative. And I'm like, that's true. I was like, what you trying to say? Like, I talk a lot. It was like, no, but you go out there. Maybe you could connect with people.
Yeah.
And I'm such a social butterfly. And my brother, he's not like, well, he is, but once he comes out of his shell, because he's like, that's just how he is. But I'll talk to my shadow, like I said. Like, I talk to anybody. At first I could be shy, but that's just me reading the room, you know?
I feel that. I do.
Yeah, like I gotta feel vibes first. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
am I gonna be preaching to the correct, you know, crowd? I'm like, let me not waste my time. But that's just
Am
me,
I gonna
you know?
piss people off today
Am I
or
gonna
not?
piss
Like,
people
it's
off?
just-
Yeah. But like
I
growing
love
up in New York, I was born and raised in Astoria, and then I moved out to
No
Rockaway.
kidding.
Yeah, man. So I'm super close to Long Island. Well, not right now, but
You're not super close. Well, not you're close, but not close enough. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, closer than Astoria, because we just go, you know, through Nassau, 5 towns, and then you could go straight into Long Island
Yeah.
from there.
My mom's
closer
from
than
Queens.
Oh, what part of Queens?
Mom was from. I can't remember, but my grandmother, her mother, my grandmother, who passed away when I was younger, she lived in Queens most of her life, and I love this. She never went to Coney Island until her later years when she was about to pass.
That's a New Yorker shit right there. Like I never
really
went
is,
to
yeah.
Statue of Liberty until I was like adult.
Yeah, I remember that your recent episode. You
Yeah.
mentioned that before.
That's the basic New York shit. Like
Yeah,
have
it
you been
is.
to the Statue of Liberty? Nope. Have you?
Nope.
We avoid Times Square at all costs, and it's
Yep.
because we hate
Yep.
slow walkers. We zoom in through traffic like pedestrian wise, and it's like if you just stop in front of me, we're gonna kick the back of your ankle.
We hate tourists.
I hate tourists.
We
with a
hate
passion.
tourists.
That's
We hate
something-
tourists.
All New Yorkers. If you're
Oh
if
my
you're a real
God.
New Yorker, and we all share that trait.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I listen to some people talk. Like one of my favorite comedians of all time when he was alive. I discovered him much later after he passed away, Patrice O'Neill. And
That sounds familiar.
he's old school black comedian, fucking
Okay.
hysterical. And he's always real as shit. And what he would do, he would go on this radio show called Opie and Anthony.
Okay.
And they were like second in line to Howard Stern in terms of New York talk radio in that particular field.
Okay.
And he was always real. He was from the city, and he would say some outlandish shit that you could never fucking say today. You could
No.
never say it.
I say it. Today's kids are such wusses. I wish I could say another word, but it would be such a dirty word. Like I know you're good with cursing, but that's one word that like just I'm like,
I got you.
you know which
yeah.
word it is. But I'm like, kids today, like growing
Or
up,
pussies.
there you go. Oh my god.
If I listen, I've told the guys over the media company that you see on like the top left corner right here, belly up. I've told them before. It's like, listen, I'm gonna say some shit that you might not like what I'm gonna have to say, but I'm real.
As being real though, like you're
That's it.
authentic. Yeah, it's authenticity.
That's
and
it.
I feel like today, like my childhood versus my daughter's childhood, I'm like, you guys are such wusses, man. Like we grew up like somebody said some shit about you. You just you
Pass it
train
on.
for this. You pass it on, you go right back, and then it's just like that's how you became friends back in the day.
Yeah.
That's how you
Yeah.
made friends, ironically. That's how you made friends. And nowadays it's like, he said that my shoes are I'm like, oh
Now, to be fair, there are certain things that like people can go like too far on. Like if you're constantly just like, how the fuck would I put this? If you're constantly making like teasing comments or what the fuck like all the goddamn time, and you call them out, but like, hey, listen, you're going too far with that or some shit. That's acceptable. That I understand because, you know, like tell me I'm wrong. It's ingrained in our fucking heads to not speak up of what's bothering us. Universal.
Yep.
Universally.
That is true.
Not just men, not just women, but universally.
Yep. The same way that they say men shouldn't cry, that's the same fucking way. It's like it's an unknown or unsaid thing of life where it's like you just bury that shit deep down, and then it's one of those things where it like bursts. That's when it, but that is the fine line between bullying and teasing, the repetitiveness, and if it continues after something is said. So I agree with you on that one.
I had a couple friends of mine who I haven't spoken to in a bit, but we were close friends, and I would speak about shit that like would bother me and stuff like that, and they would take it as like we can't make jokes with you. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah, I love a good joke. Dark humor
is my shit.
Oh my god, I have a good one for you. So you wouldn't be able to tell that I'm on the autism spectrum.
No.
You wouldn't be able to tell. So, and I roll with it, which makes this even funnier because we were going through like a Sonic drive-thru or some shit, and they were saying like, "Hey Dan, do you have a propeller cap?" I'm like, or a bicycle helmet? I'm like, why? I already know what's coming. So I'm like, why? It's like, so we can get free food for the retard. I'm like, now, first you're like, that's fucked up and funny.
It is. But
it's funny as shit.
That just shows that level of comfort, like between friends, and I'm completely fine with that. Like things like that. Like I have a lot of gay friends, and I have one friend that he loves dark humor the same as me, and he jokes about the gays. He jokes about the gays.
They're the best.
And I'm like, these are shit that you can say, but I cannot. Like he would say some shit but I can say it to him. I just can't. Yeah. I can't go to the next person.
There's some guidelines in here every now and then that you gotta follow and shit like that. It's respectfulness. I get it. And
I love it though.
Oh, it's the fucking best. Oh, bro, the gay jokes, the community is the best. They're my favorite people to hang out with because they're
so
real
happy,
shit.
Man.
There is, and like I want to be clear with the audience right now. I may sound like an asshole, but really, this place here, the Comfort Dojo, we are a place of comfort.
Yep.
So if ever you need one of the goals of this podcast that I had was, hey, is there some shit that you want to talk about that you feel uncomfortable talking about? Come on the show. Like we'll bullshit around. We'll have a few drinks. We'll just screw around. This is gin and ginger ale for the audience, if you're wondering.
I can't fuck with gin, man. Gin is the only, like when I tell you that gin is the only alcohol type that would knock me out. Like I don't mean knocked out like gets me drunk. Like it literally like makes me black out. I can't do gin.
I have one for you. What whiskey do you like?
You mean like what brand or what type?
What type? What? Anything. I don't give a shit. Anything.
I like bourbon. Bourbon whiskey. I had this one. I went to Tennessee. Oh,
good
man,
start.
That shit was so good.
Good start.
That shit was so good. It was like a pecan bourbon whiskey, and it had like pecan sitting on the bottom. So it was candied pecan, and it was a fucking oh my god. Yeah, man.
So I got one for you. third of bourbon of any, or whiskey of any kind, a third ginger ale, and a third Arnold Palmer, like the Arizona Arnold Palmer.
Gotcha. That shit sounds good already.
So fucking good. Oh my
Oh
god.
man.
It's a
That
dangerous
sounds
game.
good.
But some like the bartenders that you would go like some bartenders like, what? It's like just iced tea and fucking lemonade. This isn't hard. Like
They
that's
don't
what
know
an Arnold Palmer
fractions.
is.
They don't know fractions. You know what? It's crazy because my nephew came over the other day, and he brought his friend. He brought like this fucking Sam size, honey jack, and I'm like, where the fuck do you get this bottle? This shit was like this big. It was. I was
Oh,
like,
it was like the fucking giant bottle?
yeah, it looks like he got that shit at Costco or something, like the family size. And he was like, "Do you have anything to mix with that?" I was like, "Honestly, no." And then I was like, "You know what? I do have. I had the little cans of the Arnold Palmer, and he mixed it.
Yeah.
He was like, "This shit is amazing."
Oh my god.
I was like, "Well, there you go. You found something."
I
But,
love to drink to good music. I love to
Oh.
drink
That's where the vibes come in.
oh my god. So my to show you how much of an old soul I am. My father and my parents raised me with Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd,
Yeah.
Eric Clapton, like classic rock stuff. I caught on to the jazz scene very late. Particularly like old school jazz, like Teddy Pendergrass. Well, that's more R&B, but like Louis Armstrong, Sam Cooke, BB King. I love. How would I describe my music taste? If I can enjoy a glass of whiskey and a good cigar to the music, that's good.
Yeah. You would
I
do
love that.
good in what's this street? What the fuck is that street name? It's where Jesus. It's just like this famous street where the guitars are. I want to say it's in Knoxville.
Nashville.
Nashville. Is it
Nashville. Yes, it's Nashville. I know what you're talking about.
Is it the street that they have closed off?
Yeah, I love the country scene. I love the
Barbecue.
yeah, I love the old school country scene though. Like I'm gonna really show my I'm not even that old, which is the funny part. I love old school shit like George Strait, Hank Williams. Like some of the new music today reminds me of gaming today.
It's not music.
There's no enthusiasm, there's no art, there's no dedication, it's all a money grab.
Yeah, and if you to be honest, it fits the generation. Like the generation today, they're just looking for simple, easy, and that's what the music is. It's simple,
Yeah.
it's repetitive, it's something
Yeah.
that it's catchy, a good beat. Now it doesn't even have to be a good beat. It's just a repetitive, catchy beat, and go from there. And then I think that's pretty much what this generation is as far as music. If you want to compare the two, but a few of those names that you're naming, they sound familiar. I'm not too into the music, but if they have like hit songs, I'll listen to them.
Do you want to hear my rap playlist? I think you will like this.
Let me hear it.
I think you will like this. We're gonna start off with Outkast,
Okay.
Will Smith,
Okay. Which Will Smith? The old school Will Smith?
old school Will Smith,
Okay.
DMX, Cameron,
Legend.
Ice Cube, Lil Troy,
Okay.
Nas. Can't forget Nas. Can't.
Nope.
Tupac, Dre, Wu Tang, Biggie's in there. You might know him, Mayhem Lauren.
No.
He's a new school guy.
Doesn't
but,
ring a bell.
But you listen to his stuff and you feel like you're on the subway. You feel like
Okay.
you're on the train going into Queens. You feel like you're in the trip going into Manhattan, the
Right.
Bronx, Brooklyn. Like you feel this stuff. I was listening to some of his stuff on like because I'm a welder, and I would sometimes take the train to work like very early on, and I would take the train to work and I would listen to like some old school rap, and I would feel like I'm going to New York, am I? It's like, yep. I like
Just
that.
in case you needed some verification.
Yeah, Gangstar's in there, Nate Dogg and Warren G.
Legends.
Like I love that stuff, and any kind of music that like tells a story is like, sign me up. I'm in.
Yeah. Like
I
I don't
love
listen
that.
to a lot of these new guys, but like one of the newer guys that I do listen to is like Lucas Joyner. Like
Yup.
he's one of the newer folks that I listen to because he actually has fucking lyrics.
Fucking
Like,
dude is talent. It's
yeah, I think
talent.
he's out of Massachusetts, but it's like this is what hip hop should be, like rap and hip hop. This is what it should be. Like if you notice now, there's no more rap. It's all hip hop. Like they all generalize it as hip hop, hip hop and R&B. There's no more rap because nobody's fucking rapping. It's ridiculous. I'm like I grew up because my brother.
You just triggered the entire Drake fan base.
Oh, him too. I mean, he makes good hit. Like he makes good club hits.
His R&B stuff is fantastic. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he makes good hits. Don't get me wrong, but like, there's where are the newer Drakes? Like after Drake, after him, like who can you say like that's out there making music repetitively that hasn't died off? Chris Brown he's a multi-talented artist. He's R&B, rap, hip hop, dancer, all this type of shit. But there's very few of them in the game.
Yeah.
And it's like I grew up my brother Mitch, number 3, he's we're like what's that show, The Academy? We're like numbered. He's 7 years older than me. So like even when I was 7, he's 14. He's, different types of music that he's allowed to listen to. So I'm over here. So I grew up on the Tupacs, on the Biggies, the Wu-Tangs and stuff like that, even though they're also not I was born around that time, but it's not my generation. My generation goes way back, but I also do listen to Led Zeppelin, what's this, Journey, because they have hits, and then once it takes that hit for you to get into the music, and then you start to listen to other songs, and you're like, wow, this is actually some good shit.
Yeah.
Back in the day. But it only takes that one hit to reel you in, and then you start to listen to all of them.
You know what band did that recently for me? Tool. Tool did that for me recently. They're hard rock and metal.
Yeah.
But I started going down the rabbit hole of Tool, and then I started to discover more of the hard rock scene. Like hard rock and like grunge and metal, like Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam is one of my all-time favorite bands.
Okay.
I could listen to Pearl Jam is one of those bands that if you watch them live, unfucking believable. They're unbelievable live. If you have a chance, YouTube, when we're off, release live from Wrigley Field.
Okay.
The whole crowd
listen,
sings the song.
I can listen to any music live because you're there, you're feeling the vibes, you're hearing the music. But it takes a good song or something to catch my attention. Like I went down the rabbit hole with Teddy Swims. Like that's usually not my genre. Took that one song, and then you go to Apple, and then you're like, more like this. Oh my God, it was the end of it. I was like, I was this close to paying $500 to go see this man, and I was like, Lord, what did Apple Music do to me?
So what are your thoughts on, I'm not a fan of hers, but like, she's a big fucking artist. I'm not a huge fan of her music. Think she looks good, but I'm not a fan of her music. Taylor Swift.
Same thing as Drake. She's
Yep.
She's for her to be as young as she is, she's very I think she's noble as far as personality wise, like person wise. Music, it's not my type of music. She does have some hits here and there that they are, if it catches you at the right time, right moment, you're jamming. Like it only takes that good vibe or that one mood that you're in to listen to the music and be like, this is some good music. Would I download her music? Do I have her music on my playlist? No. I don't. But like I could tolerate her music if I'm out and about, and I'll jam.
I don't blame you.
Shake, 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 shake. Yeah, I know all that shit.
Her country stuff's good though. I like her country stuff more than that.
I think that's how she started off. I did see a documentary because I'm big on documentary on her and how she started and how it was hard for her. And I don't get me wrong, I empathize with her, because she's a young kid, and I would say she's younger than me, I think. But the success that she's had for her age is dope.
No, it's a nice success story for her, and she should feel proud of everything she's, accomplished in her life. And
She should.
see kids today taking the easy way out, like, hey, I'm just gonna go on OnlyFans or some shit, sell feet pics or whatnot. Like, okay, you do you, but like,
Yeah.
Sure, my daughter. Fuck that. No. Fuck that. No, no, no.
Yeah. No, but she
No,
did
sir.
good for herself. Is it my John? Like, am I a what do they call him? Am I a Swiftie? No, I'm not a Swiftie.
Nah.
Yeah, and then it's the whole shit how they started mixing it for the Super Bowl, saying that, like, are you voting for Taylor Swift's team? It's like, what? Oh my god! I was like, that's a punch in the face
See, that
for the NFL.
the whole tribalism thing when
Yeah.
it comes to just not just music, but like not just with sports. I see it all the time with like wrestling and stuff like that, but just with everything, like the whole if you're not with me, you're against me
Yeah, no,
kind of whole thing, which is, you know,
it's BS.
it's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
And like just because I don't like something doesn't mean you have to hate me for the rest of your damn life. Like people change. Yeah, people change. Some people change for the better, some people change for the worse. It happens.
yeah.
But the whole I don't know, where do you view the whole tribalism thing? Because
I don't, especially like with that. You mean like with like Team Swifty or Team whatever, like just
everything, just
Well,
everything as a whole.
there's this one saying that I don't know who the fuck said it, but I just know I heard it or I saw it, and I was like, this is the shit. It's like, just because something, what is it? Just because.
Is it just because it offends you doesn't make you right?
No, it's like just because you are no longer my friend doesn't mean you're my enemy. Like I still want to see you eat, just not at my table. It's like one of those.
Tupac said that.
Yeah, so it's like it's the same. Like we can have differences of opinion. Doesn't mean I hate you.
Yeah.
And then I do believe in that people outgrow each other all the time. Like it's just, and I also believe in that that other saying where it's like some people are here for a reason, some people are here for a season. So it's like maybe that person was there for you or with you to get you through that one patch in your life where you needed them. And just because, they're no longer in your life, just look at it as a symbol of God removing them for your life. It doesn't mean that, something happened. It just, you guys just grew apart. Like people, that happens to people all the time. Evolution. That's just what it is.
I'm gonna follow up, but I'm gonna bounce on that because my grandmother would say this whole thing. She was an Irish Catholic, and she mentioned something to me. It's like, hey, no one's perfect in the end. Even God himself ain't perfect. You know why? He made your ass. it's fucked up to say, but it's
your
true.
grandma's real for that.
She don't give a shit.
Your grandma's real.
She didn't give a shit. That was what made her the best. She didn't give a fuck, and it was awesome.
That is true though.
Fucking Queens, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, man, that grandma. Yo,
Oh my
that's
god.
real. But my mom, she has this saying. She goes in Spanish. She goes, ni los dedos de las manos son iguales, meaning that not even the fingers on your hands are the same. Meaning that no two people are the same.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course, you're gonna have differences of opinion, or you're not gonna agree on something. And then there's like genetics. Every 7 years, your body regenerates because all the cells, whatever, blah blah blah. So you become a new person after 7 years. That's where the 7-year itch and wedding comes, or the 7-year curse, however they would say it. But it is what it is. I go with everybody. Like I don't. You can have your favorite presidential candidate. I can have mine. I don't go into politics because it always ends up like a Monopoly game. Everybody's
Don't blame
fighting.
me.
Yeah, it's like
Don't blame
you
me
didn't
at
go
all.
around. Go. You purchased my houses. Next thing you know, you guys are unfriending each other off of Instagram. So I don't go into politics. I don't go into Monopoly games. I don't have a Monopoly board game in my house because that just brings fights. But it is.
I
true.
feel that.
It's true. I've never finished in my life. I've never finished a Monopoly game because it always either sparks a fucking argument or the game board gets flipped over. But it's just one of those things where I think you're absolutely right. Well, your grandma's absolutely right. She was a real one.
I stole that saying from her, and I say it to a lot of people. I just go, God himself ain't perfect. He made your ass.
Yeah.
It's
Made
true.
your goofy ass. Yeah, it's true.
Made your fucking dumbass.
I absolutely agree with that.
So
But yeah.
tell everyone, like tell the audience here that is listening here about, your story as a whole, because you're in New York. This it is a city of struggle, but it's also a city of chances. You get a lot of chances in New
Yes.
York. You get a lot of chances in New York, whether it's the Bronx, whether it's Staten Island, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island itself. Don't give a fuck.
Yep.
You get chances all the time. Like, what is your story as a whole?
All right, so my story as a whole, so I'm actually staying out of Florida right now. I moved out because of my daughter. She's 12 now, but I moved out when she was 6. I was living in the projects in New York, and I was like, I was born and raised here, and everybody knows their kids. You know what you have. My kid is not meant to be in the hood, and I don't mean that with any disrespect to the hood, because I was born and raised in Queens.
Respect that.
Moved to the hood. I was living in the projects with my mom. I ended up getting my own apartment like 2 blocks. So I was super it was super convenient for me. I would go to work, drop off my daughter at my mom's. I didn't have to pay for babysitter. My mom's a retired MTA worker, so she worked for the city at the time. So it was like we had it good, but I'm like, do I want good? Like I was paying $500 in rent. I was working for Delta Airlines at the time. I'm like, I have it good. I'm made, but do I want that? Compared to walking through the lobby of these buildings while people are smoking weed, piss in the elevators. And that's the reality of it. I was like, I don't want that for my kid. Yeah, it was, I survived it, but not everybody's the same. New York is not what it is. It's not what it was. Especially right now, everything's like, I go back to see my mom and I'm like, I fucking hate it here. Like as soon as the plane is like, we are now descending, I was like, oh fuck. I automatically get into like a bad mood and I'm like, oh. I'm walking through JFK airport, like just rushing through people. I'm like, I'm not like this in Florida.
Fuck this shit.
Yeah, I'm like, I walk faster than the people on the little the what is it, the fast paced walker things.
Oh, I know you. Yeah.
I walk faster than them motherfuckers. I was like, I that's how
Get
badly
me the
I
fuck away from here.
I'm
I
like,
don't like
I don't want to be around people. It's like, don't look at me. But then when I come to Florida, I'm like, I'm in such a good mood. My daughter's such a good kid. And then over there, you're zoned to schools. So if you're living in the projects, you're not gonna get such a good selection of schools, unfortunately. And it's just the way it is. So I'm like, I gotta get out. And then my mom, till this day, she still tells me, she's like, you made a huge mistake. I was like, no, because she's like one of these. She came from the Dominican Republic, I believe in the late 70s. So like that's the second home. That's the only home that she made for herself.
Placing the roots. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So like till this day, me and my brother were like, do not mention what's going on in New York. Like you can say like, oh my God, New York is burning in crime. She will spark your ass. She's like, don't talk about the place that raised you. She's like a hardcore New Yorker. And I'm like, Mom, it's not it. I understand her. But it's just, I can't do that for my daughter. Like as a parent, you have to cut these generational bad habits. And then I'm like, I don't want my kid to be raised in New York, especially the New York that it is now. Growing up in New York in the 90s, you were not affected by crime if you were not in the crime world. Now, if you're not in the crime world, you are the target. Like you are vulnerable. Older people, children, people with disability. Before it wasn't like that. Like the older generation of thugs and criminals, they respected a certain type. They had standards. I know it's ironic, but criminals had standards back then.
No, you're right. You are.
They had limits. Now it's like they prey on the weak, and that's not what I'm like.
No.
I can't deal with that shit. I was like, I had to move out. Like my daughter, she goes to a public school, but it's still way better than a New York public school.
Yeah.
And that's just what I want for my kid. I'm like, I want my kid to actually have, a shot at success, starting with education. That's like the biggest thing. But
I fucking respect out of that.
I can't.
I
was
love
like,
that.
I had nothing. I came to room in my brother's living room. He was like, yo, you can stay here as long as you want. I was like, that's not my goal. My goal is to be uncomfortable to force me into success. Like you're as long as you're uncomfortable, you're always looking for success and a better you. So I'm like, I want to be uncomfortable right now because that's what's going to push me into getting my own place, and then that's exactly what happened. So
And you don't see that nowadays. You see like, hey, I just want to get comfortable. Like, okay, what the
Oh, no.
fuck is comfortable?
yeah, no.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, no. I think humans are meant to evolve, and if they're uncomfortable long enough, they're gonna find that success, and they're gonna find that push. They're like, I can't keep doing this shit. So they're gonna,
Nope.
you know, they're just gonna be. And New Yorkers, hustlers. They're like, if they gotta have two
Yeah.
jobs to fucking make it, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. And being on Long Island itself, like, yeah, Long Island's great. I have nothing against Long Island aside from, rent is fucking expensive here, but at the same point, it's like
I think all of the Northeast right now is like fuck. Even
Bad.
Florida right now. When I moved
Not-
here,
New
paying,
Hampshire's
like-
cheap.
Is it really?
Yes, check out New Hampshire.
Who wants to live there though?
Good point.
What's there? What's there? What's there right now? No offense to the people living in
A
New
lot of
Hampshire.
trees, a lot of nice area, a lot of lakes and shit. A lot of snow though.
Yeah, New York.
The
had
weather
that too.
kind.
Oh, no. I don't miss the snow at all. Like fucking layering up. You had sweats. You had leggings, jeans on top of the sweats. I can't do that. I haven't
See-
bought a pair of thick socks in like 7 years.
I love the cold. I fucking love the cold. But at the same point, there comes a point where there's too much cold. If there's like 50, if it's 53 to 60 degrees, I'm like, I'm good.
Oh no, that's amazing. Here,
I fucking love that.
here, I'm not gonna lie, it gets like around Christmas time. It probably at nighttime it hits about the 30s, which is fucking amazing.
Oh, where in
It's
Florida are you at?
Orlando.
Oh, that's a good
Mickey's
area
house.
too.
I'm in the House of Mouse, but
Hey, there you go.
yeah, but it does get to that very amazing cold type of weather where you can wear like a hoodie with a pair of shorts and be perfectly fine.
I like that.
I love it. My electric
like
bill loves
that.
it even more. Yeah.
Nope. Fuck
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I don't blame you at all. I mean,
Yeah.
aside from the AC every now and then.
Oh man, the AC here is like right now it's like so humid and it rains every fucking day. This is like the worst part of the year. And people are like, "Oh, I want to go visit." Don't come. If you're going to go to the parks, don't fucking come. You're going to waste your money. You're going to get rained out every fucking day. It's bad.
I'd rather go to the Carolinas, truthfully, because me and my I pretty much call her wifey now, but like my fiance and I, we're going down to Raleigh in a
Okay.
month.
I saw that.
And
Congratulations. You recently
Thank
got
you.
engaged. Congrats.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
thing. Hopefully
Fuck.
Donut likes it.
She fucking adores her. Oh my god. So, story time before I get on with the other story. Megan is a pastry chef.
Okay.
So
Oh,
imagine her fucking delight when she found out about this one up here.
Donut. Oh my god. That's amazing. That's like
That was
meant to
fucking
be.
great. No kidding. So, we're going down to North Carolina and for, just a few days or the fuck. And I mentioned her before in the past. Like, hey, would you be, I know you're not a big fan of the heat, but would you be interested in, considering, in quotes, moving off the island? Because let's be honest here, unless we're working our dicks off, ain't happening.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's like, for example, when I first moved here in 18, I had a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment for $1,300. And it was like right up the street. It was right up the street from the airport, and it was perfect for me because I worked at the airport. So I'm like, fuck yeah. Insurance was like $98 for full coverage.
Woo!
COVID fucked everything up. All these
Ooh.
fucking workers moved down here, sold their houses. They were, because you know what it was at the time. I'm not sure if it was the same for Long Island, but at the time, New York was the epicenter of the pandemic. So they were getting like 600.
It was, yeah.
600 plus the 300. So they were getting $900 weekly. The kids were going to school online. All these motherfuckers were vacationing down here because Florida never closed down. The governor from Florida was like, no. And the thing about Orlando specifically is that it lives off of tourism. So
Yep.
it's not going to be like New York where you have tax up the ass. You have city, state, federal. Here, everything is off of tourism. So if we close
Yep.
down the state, nothing's really coming in. No income's coming in. So you had all these people getting all this federal funding, just vacationing down here, and little did you know they started moving down here and shit. Now, my last place I had to move, I was paying $2,500 for a 3-bedroom, and I was like,
So
"This is."
fuck.
I went from like paying 1,700 to 25. I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Like I'm looking at apartments in Winston-Salem, North Carolina right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nice area, more inland in the state. For a 1,200 square foot apartment, just 2 bedrooms, just over $1,000.
Yeah, you're not finding that shit here.
Nope. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, no.
Good fucking luck with that. Actually, I was wrong. For over 1,200 square feet, is 1,350 plus.
That's
You're
still
not getting that
fucking
up
good.
here. You're not
That's
getting it
still
up
good.
here.
Yeah.
You're not.
That's not
And-
even mortgage wise, because usually mortgage, if you have good credit, good income, mortgage is usually less than rent. You're not even getting
Yeah.
that in mortgage up there. Fuck that. No.
No, and I get the whole aspect of like, oh, the reason why rent's so expensive is because you get paid more. That's not fucking true.
No.
It's
We
not
get
true.
paid about the same because with the taxes, New York is getting paid. Like my brother, he gets paid well. He works in JFK, and we get about the same if it comes to, dimes and nickels, because he's getting paid. He's getting taxed city, state, and federal. Here, it's only federal. You don't get state taxes, so it's
Mhm.
like you're getting by the hour. If if you start to do the calculations, is the same shit.
It
And
is.
the cost of living here is a lot cheaper.
It
than
is.
up north.
Now, granted, like certain parts of Florida or like certain parts of where you go down south, like could take you 45 minutes to get to fucking Walmart. But at the same
Oh, yeah.
point, it's whatever. It's
Yeah,
whatever.
but it's the same in New York. It takes you 45 minutes to go 5 blocks in New York, in the city.
You're not wrong.
It's
You're
like,
not wrong at all.
I started measuring that shit. I'm like, from here to like on the highway, if I were to drive 2 hours on the highway, I'd probably make it to Tampa and maybe a little bit more. I drive 2 hours. In New York, you get from Queens maybe to Manhattan. Maybe, and you're lucky,
Fucking
maybe.
stupid. It's so stupid.
It doesn't fucking make sense. I'm like, and then you're getting, that's why the cars have such high mileage here, but it's like you're going far, but in the 2 hours you actually make it far. It's actually legit distance, not New York where you're
Yeah.
still on the bridge 3 hours later because there's a fucking pile up in front of you.
Oh my god. The fucking GW bridge is always closed.
Mm. It's always under repair, and you're like, I never see any fucking construction workers on there.
Yep. Yep.
Where,
Fucking
how
stupid.
Are they working from home?
Where are they going? Are they in the trees?
Yeah.
Maybe
they're
they
working
speak in
from home.
Vietnamese or some shit.
The construction workers are working from home.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's funny. That's actually really funny.
Yeah.
One of the things that I believe you talked about on a recent episode was the whole you're not gonna get big into relationship talk.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking hate that.
I hate it because it's like everybody's opinion is different on it. It's like, and it all depends. I mean, it's rightful, it's rightfully because it all depends on your experience on it.
Of course.
So it's
Yeah.
like, as far as me, for example, my ex, we dated for about 5 years, and then he went through this huge change. He was a bigger person. I was like, I'm not the type of person. I don't look at looks. If we vibe, we vibe. If you're a good person, that's a plus. Obviously, not so much if you have a good job, but having a good job, tells other things about the person. It means you're responsible, means you're a go-getter, you have aspirations, you have future goals, which is something any person trying to build is looking for. So,
Of course.
we were together for like 5 years, and then he was, it got into him that he wanted to get the triple bypass or whatever the fuck that shit is, the losing weight. And I'm like,
Oh,
listen,
gastric sleeve. Yes.
that shit. So I was like, I mean, if you're asking me, I don't care. Like, but if you're telling me that you want to get it because you want to be healthier, again, I applaud you. But if you're asking me, like, should I get it? is that what you want? Then no, I don't care. I don't care about it. But if you're doing it to be a healthier person and you want to live, kudos to you. But then after that, he started changing. He started getting like anxiety. He started getting like, just to the point where he wasn't his usual self. He wasn't outgoing anymore. And I have such a huge respect for mental health, right? So there would be times where I'd be like, can we talk about it? I don't want to talk about it. Are we going to spend Christmas together? Usually Spanish people, we don't celebrate Christmas. We celebrate the day before. So we celebrate the 24th. That's like our party. And I'd be like, are we going to be together the 24th? He'd be like, no, I just want to be home by myself. And I'm like, okay. So we work together. So he still works there. I no longer work there. And I found out that he was actually off on the holidays. So I'm like, okay, now I'm like starting to question shit. I'm the type of person, you will get the benefit of the doubt from me. But once I see you change, and I study people, like that's what I'm studying in school, but also that's just how I am. I study you. So if you change your character out of nowhere, it's going to raise flags, and I would give you all the trust in the world. But the minute something starts to tell me this is weird, I'm going to start doubting.
Of course.
So like his birthday was, he canceled on me. And this is after 5 years of dating. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. Thanksgiving, we didn't spend it together. Christmas, New Year's, none of that. My birthday comes around April, and I'm still like on him, like, can we talk? What's going on? And he's just like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. I get anxiety. I'm just depressed. And he knew that was a target for me, because I won't keep on insisting if that's the case. That's not my job. I'm not.
See, that to me, to cut you off, when you start using your, this is such a touchy subject, but I don't give a shit.
Shoot.
If you start using your mental health as an excuse to not better yourself,
yep,
that's a problem with me.
You're a piece of shit. I'll say it straight up. You cannot self-diagnose yourself and keep on using it. Like, you can, the same way with, if you're gonna say, oh, I'm miserable because of this, I'm miserable because, at some point I'm gonna tell you, do something about it, or
The
else
pussification has got to stop.
Don't talk to me. Like, I'm not a psychiatrist. If you're not doing anything to better yourself, and you know what's wrong with you, you're pointing it out. This is what's wrong with me, and you're doing nothing to fix yourself, then I no longer want to hear it. Because what am I going to provide? What help am I going to provide for you if 6 months down the line you're still the same? You're still feeling the same. Obviously, this venting shit ain't going anywhere. So the same thing happened with him. So it was like, my birthday came around. He's like, hey, I want to take you, your mom, and your daughter out. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. The I love yous were still there. We were still, together and stuff like that. And then I gave him the ultimatum. I was like, we either talk about it, because I'm a very straight to the point type of person. I'm like, it's been about 7 months. You've been acting so fucking weird. We either talk about it, or like, I no longer want to, like, that was like, just, I was spilling over. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And at the time I was going through flight attendant training. So like, I had a lot on my plate. I was still going to school, flight attendant training, still had my daughter and all that shit. So I was like, the ultimatum is this: we talk about it, or this ends.
Of course.
Never heard from him again.
Wow.
Like, just fucking cold turkey, bro. Like,
wow.
And this, yeah. So we went out for my birthday in April. The conversation happened in May. Never heard from him again. And in June, we still have a lot of friends in common because we shared the same workplace for so many years. Everybody was like, hey, how was Dubai? And I'm like, what? They was like,
was he?
They were like, oh, we heard he went to Dubai with his girlfriend. Like, how was it? I was like, I didn't go to Dubai. I was like, it wasn't me. It wasn't this girlfriend.
Whoa.
Yep. Then I found out that he was with someone for like, I think the past 10 months before that. So it dates back to like when all our issues started happening, when I was like, wow. Like, he had introduced him to the family and everything. And I was like, fucking wow. And the way I found out was, Like I still I love his sister. His sister is such an amazing person. We still talk. So at the time, I was doing photography, and I had done a photo session for her, and her friends were there, and her friends are like very long time friends, and they knew me from coming over to the house. And they're
Yeah.
like, hey, how was the breakup? How has it been? Have you been dating? And I was like, no. I was like, it's only been like a month or so. She was like, a month? I was like, yeah. I was like, I can't, like, I'm not that type of person. I can't jump out of one relationship, go to the next. She was like, you guys were still together? Because he had the family, like, he had the new girl over to the family and everything. I was like, wow. I was like, wow. So like at that point, I had such a shitty rest of the year, and it got to
Don't
the
blame
point.
you.
Yeah, I got to the point where I was like so distraught. But again, it's just me. I'm the type of person that when I'm going through my shit, I don't talk about it. Like I just retreat. I erase myself from the world, and I work on myself because I'm like, how am I going to be a good friend, a good mom, a good sister, daughter if I'm not all up there, So I had to like pretty much finish breaking myself down. And it was just that part of it where it was like I didn't get any closure. We never got to talk about it. I found out everything through everybody else. So it was just one of those things where I was like, I never got closure. So it took a lot more to heal. But in the end, I felt so good when I was finally able to be like, fuck him, his loss. And it was just like,
Had a girl.
yeah, it took me a while, but I got there eventually, And now
You
I look
fucking
back
did it
at,
though.
yeah, I look back on it now and I'm like, man, fuck him. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be who I am right now if it wasn't for that experience. And, going forward, the only reparations I need to do is like being able to trust again. Cause like the next person or the next guy he's not, um, it's not his fault about somebody else's fuck up, So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I need to work on myself, because if I move forward without working on myself, then the next person would be paying for his mistakes.
Do you want to hear something that I personally came up with? I gotta. Well, I can find it for. I might remember this off the top of my head, but
Mm-hmm.
it was the whole saying is called the hammer and the anvil,
Okay.
and where the fuck is it? I have it here somewhere. So forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, for this is actually a really fucking good quote. I just gotta find it. But basically, the hammer's representation in this case is pain,
Mm-hmm.
and the anvil's representation is failure.
Mm-hmm.
When you start off in your life, you start off as this little tiny piece of metal, and your job is to forge that metal into whatever the fuck you want it to be. It could be like a nice big sword, it could be a sharp ass sword, a hammer, a mace, piece of armor, a shield, don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use the sword as a better example. Every now and then that sword will have some cracks in it.
Yep.
Every now and then that sword will break. In this case, the sword cracking was you finding out what the fuck happened
Mm-hmm.
from outside sources. The sword breaking was you coming to that realization of like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Now, what do we do when that sword cracks or breaks?
Build a new one.
We fix that shit right up.
Yep. Like Thor's hammer, when his shit broke, he created
Create
what
the
was it,
axe.
a hatchet, a axe.
He created the axe. Yep.
Yep. So it's the same, and it was stronger.
Yeah. And that's it. And like, there's also like the fire's representation in this case is rage. The quench bucket, which you cool the sword off with, is represented by sadness. And these things need to happen in order to forge your sword into what the fuck you want to be.
Yep.
And these cracks and the breaks in the sword, they happen all the time. They happen all the time. You can't prevent the cracks in your sword. You can only patch them up and make your sword better.
Yep.
And that's fucking real as shit.
It is. I fucks with that. I mean, it took a while, but then I'm like, nothing I do or say, and then the fucking, to top it off, I found out that this person was an employee of the organization that I was working for. So it's like, I used to work for one airline, and then I became a flight attendant with another airline. This person was a member or an employee of the new airline that I was joining. I was like, fucking A. I was like, oh my God, it couldn't. So at any point, any given time, I can cross paths with this person. But I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, I am that person until I find proof of otherwise. She's probably just as much a victim as I am. Like,
that's deep.
I don't know what she knew. You know,
that's deep.
If I find out that she knew, then that's a different story. But even so, that's not my problem now, because I've done the healing, I've done the moving on. But you know, she can be just as much as victim as I am. Like, she didn't know.
Nope.
So it's like, you know, it's just one of those things where you live, you learn. Obviously, I was down and out, but I had to keep going, because that's another thing. When you have a child and when you have a kid that's looking up at you, you have to mask everything. Like, you have to learn how to internalize and release at the appropriate time. Like, at the time, the way I would release energy or negative energy would be the gym. And it still is. I go to the gym, and that's just where I leave everything there, because I'm like, I don't have that luxury of breaking down in front of my kid. Yeah, she needs to learn life. She needs to learn emotions, but at the appropriate time. She's only 12. She doesn't need to be seeing that shit, you know? Mm-hmm. Obviously, when she gets to that age, and that's something that you have a talk. But as far as like seeing your mom break down or seeing something, that's a trauma you don't want to put on your kid, you know? So
nope.
Let her be a kid, and I work out my shit the way I need to work it out.
Amen to that.
Yep.
The dating game as a whole nowadays is it's just so fucking stupid, because you know, I obviously haven't been in there for a while, and thank God for that. But like, you know, it's it's something like I feel shitty. Bad for. It's so shitty. It's so shitty, because everyone's expectations are up to there. It's like, hey, we're gonna date for 2 months and then get married in 3.
Yep.
Like, and who the fuck wants that?
Give birth on the 5th month. Like, that's not even fucking biologically possible.
No, fuck science. You'd be surprised. I'm just kidding. But like, for real though, like that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the Disney fairy tale expectations.
Yeah.
And then they get smacked in the face with reality, and it's like, what the fuck? You mean I can't be Beauty and the Beast? Like, no, motherfucker, you can't.
I can't kiss a frog? Is that what you're telling me?
No, you can kiss the frog. It's just gonna taste like shit. It's just
you might get diseases here and there, but
you might get a few diseases here and there. It might be incurable, but you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. But that's just it's tough for me, because I'm not like, I tried the whole dating website shit or the apps. I can't do that. I'm like, because it would be nice to have a cute face, a nice face, attractive person, but what good is it if we don't fucking match? Like, if we're not vibing. So I'm like, I'm not gonna keep on. I'd rather do it the regular way. Go out, meet people, rather than waste my time, meet somebody on the app where they're probably
fucking old school shit. Yeah.
We're fucking on the first date because I paid for shrimp and lobster, and you know that comes with the trio of pussy on the side. So I'm like, I can't. I'm like, it does not include that. So I'm like, I'd rather meet someone the regular way, you know, feel the vibes, and it's just, I'm like, I can't. And then right now I'm like stuck between the hard place and the wall, because I'm like, I rarely go out because of school, work, my daughter. So I'm like, I just have to wait.
Do you want me to give you like a little pep talk about that regard? because in the end, you and your
Mhm.
daughter are the two most important people in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You're the most important person in your life, and then not only that, your daughter is the most important person in your life. In the end, fuck dating. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
No,
qu- I'm gonna,
that's pretty much
yeah,
what I've said.
and I'm gonna quote a friend of mine, but try to put it in the female's perspective here.
Okay.
Unless some Channing Tatum looking ass man, who you look at him from behind and just go, "Yup, I like that ass." Unless that man comes into your life and says, "I want to be with you," stay the fuck single.
Yeah.
He said it differently, but it's
No, I fuck. Listen, I fucks with it because my mom's always said it. Like even I don't even know if there's like a verbatim saying for it in Spanish. It's like, prefiero estar solo que mal acompañado. It's like I'd rather be alone than bad accompanied. Like it's just
yup.
I I don't want to deal with that. First of all, dating is stressful enough
Yup.
because
Yup.
first dates, it's like, what do you like to eat? What do you like to do? What you like? Where you gotta go? What have you done? What are your like? I hate the questionnaire shit. I don't even like filling out voter surveys, and I'm gonna be out here fucking talking to people repeating the
that.
same question. So I'm like, if it happens, it happens. Right now I'm focusing on like just me. I'm like so close to fucking graduating, and I'm like,
Hell
right now
yeah.
that's my fuck, man. Physics is kicking my ass this semester. but
Fuck
it is what it
physics.
is. I'm like, why do I need this shit? Why do I need physics?
I didn't even go to college and I say fuck physics.
Yeah, I'm like, why? Why do I need to know how to convert energy into heat or what? I don't. I'm studying criminal justice. What the fuck does that have
It's
to
not
do
even it's not even just that. It's the school system as a whole in this country alone
It's a
is
scam.
broken.
It's a
Broken.
scam.
It's broken.
a
It's
fucking
broken
scam.
as shit. Like you're not teaching kids like, hey, this is how you do taxes.
Yeah.
Or hey, this is how you calculate a budget. You're not teaching
on your
kids how to
credit.
budget. Yeah, work on your fucking not even credit, but like this is how you work on a budget. This is how you work on saving cash on the side.
Yep.
This is how you do these things. And no, you're
Actual
teaching
shit.
kids social bullshit that doesn't apply to your everyday life of growth. It doesn't. Just because you're offended by something doesn't mean it is something you need to carry with you for the rest of your fucking life. It doesn't. Doesn't at
There's
all.
no technicality to the education that they're giving. Like for the most part, a lot of my classes are towards my major that I've taken throughout the 3.5 years that I have. But I'm like, why do I need physics, climate change with criminal justice? Like, how is that going to help me criminally profile somebody? Oh, he only goes out in the rain. He's a psychopath. The fuck? Like,
He only goes out in the snow in the middle of a blizzard.
I could have fucking told you that from watching a Netflix documentary. Like, I don't need a physics class that's whooping my ass this semester to tell you that.
I'm a proud graduate of YouTube University with a master's degree in bullshit.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how I introduce people. It's like,
That's what I want.
It's
I
true.
want that fucking degree. It's free.
like how do you teach people how to fucking fix a car engine? Either you go to school for it or you watch on YouTube.
Yep. Mine was YouTube because I could do light bulbs, I can do battery changes, I can do all that. YouTube University.
Hell yeah.
But I'm like, it is what it is, and I get it until like I can't boycott a class. Like I need that shit to graduate. I understand, but it's as far as
Unfortunately,
like
yeah.
acknowledging the fact that yeah, it is broken and it's a scam. It's the biggest bullshit ever. And I'm like, it is what it is. Are you going for your master's? Fuck no. I don't would I need a master's for a degree? I don't know. I don't need that shit. I'm just trying to be the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a couple friends of mine who are going for the masters, and I'm like,
Big ups to them.
why the fuck are you torturing yourself for school?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Like you're better than that shit. You can do so much better than that.
Yeah. What's
know-
this guy Zuckerberg? He was a fucking Harvard dropout, and
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he shit. I wish I had his fucking money. He
Oh, I
dropped
don't
out.
blame you with that, but like,
Well, yeah, in a general sense, fuck him. I don't.
no, yeah, you're not wrong with that
But
part.
dropping out of one of the most prestigious institutions in the country. I mean, well, yeah, in the country, I would say, and becoming a billionaire, I was like, fuck. I know that's a 1 in a million type shit, but
Yeah, but still,
doable.
we're in the world of chances. Take a
Yeah.
chance.
That is true.
That's
Very
it.
true.
That is it. I remember before I got into my current state of employment, I wanted to get into radio.
Okay. You do have a radio voice.
Appreciate that. Thank you. That was my first love, because you might know of him from like being down in Florida. Dan Le Batard was my.
Sounds. I feel like I've heard that fucking name.
He's a Miami radio host, formerly of ESPN Radio, and his type of show was a big inspiration for Time to BS, because I didn't want to be ESPN. I
Yeah.
didn't want to be that. I wanted to be my own unique brand.
Mm-hmm.
And if it pissed people off, so fucking be it. This is who I am as a person. If you don't like it, turn me off.
I share that. If you
So
don't like what I
when
got to say, keep going.
when the guys at Belly Up, when I reached out to Belly Up and I was like, hey, I'm interested in, joining a network. I would love to contribute to what you guys are building. And they listened to my show and they were like, you have a very unique approach of how you handle these things. I'm like, I just keep it real.
Yeah.
I do. I just keep it 100% fucking real. That's
Yeah.
how I am. And
I think that's where, as far as like that, having that mentality, and even though today's my first day speaking with you, you're very well spoken. You're very articulate about the matter. You speak your mind without being ignorant, and I think that's also what separates you from a lot of these, in a good way. It separates you
I
from
appreciate that.
a lot of these people, trying to get the message. Like how they say, correct message, wrong messenger.
Yeah.
I think in this matter, it's more of the correct message, correct messenger, and that's usually hard to come by. So I think you got something.
I
something cool
appreciate
going
that.
on.
Wow,
Yeah.
gave me a warm fuzzy feeling. I appreciate that.
Stop.
No, maybe not. No, it was nice. It was nice. I never heard that before. That makes me feel good.
No, it's the truth though. Like, it's hard to find people that can one, hold a conversation, two, actually spin the conversation into a new conversation. Like, you're bridging it. And I think and the content is real. So it's not like you're making up shit, you're fabricating shit. You're talking about real life situations, real life problems that can resonate on many different people. So I think you have I just noticed Belly Up is a fucking pig. Look at that shit.
Yeah. So that was you just noticed that shit.
Oh
So,
my
yeah,
shit. Look
So
at that.
so I reached out to them. I reached out to them 2 prior times
Okay.
before I officially joined with them over a year ago.
Okay.
Actually, it was like, geez, it might have been 2 years ago. I think it was. Might have been. Christ. Wow, I've been with them for 2 years. And at the time, I had no real direction of where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I still did the show for the sake of doing it, for like, because in the end, if you're doing this shit for, like, the best advice I can give for anyone, if you're doing this for money, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Rogan or Howard Stern or like Theo Vaughn or any of those top guys. If you're a celebrity and you're doing this shit for money, good for you. If you are doing this for money, you are in the wrong fucking business. You straight up are. You should be doing this for the sake of, hey, I want to have a hobby, but I also want to share my thoughts to people
Yep.
that do want to listen to my thoughts. Sometimes I speak of shit that may sound fucking stupid every now and then. Like, hey, why
You
is
have an
there
audience?
It's like, hey, why is that fan on? Why do ceiling fans exist? Like, like stupid shit like that. It's
Yeah.
or out of pocket shit. But in the end, you're speaking what's on your mind. And that's why the indie podcast community is so fucking unique in that regard, because BS Sessions is a perfect example. I had one of my favorite BS sessions I ever did. He was you're definitely one of them. You're definitely one of them. You're fucking real. I love that. And it was like 3 or 4 episodes ago. Matt Mitch was his name. He was 1/4 of the Bro Migos podcast. They're fucking awesome. Suggest you check them out. They're from Jersey, and Matt talked about his mental struggles and just life as a whole, and that was one of the best shows I ever did, which was just, hey, this is a place of comfort. This is a place of, hey, we're not gonna talk just, hey, what I want to talk about. No, it's not how I want this shit to go. Whatever the fuck you want to talk about, whatever the fuck's on your mind, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
it's a platform that you're providing for your audience, viewers, and guests to speak their mind.
Of
and
course.
I've always said it. It's the same for me. Like, I don't want to be rich off of this. Like, I want to create a brand, build my brand so I can have something of my own to provide. This is a platform. Like, I've even had my daughter on the podcast, and it's just me. I don't know if it's an Aries thing. I don't know if it's a me thing, but I've always tried to make others feel good. Even if it means breaking myself down, because I know at the end of the day that I can rebuild myself. I can regenerate myself. But if I know that I'm breaking myself down and the next person's going to feel so much better, or it's going to improve their quality of life, somehow it makes that regeneration a whole lot more. Like, it makes it more worth it. And a big thing with my daughter, she's always had anxiety, like social anxiety. And I don't mean like meeting people like on the regular. It's just like big crowds. And to me, I love it. So it's hard for her because I'm such a social butterfly. And when I go places, I'm not bragging, but when I go places, like, people come to greet me. And that's always been kind of hard on her since she was little, because it's like now she's getting all this extra attention because of me that she doesn't want.
And she doesn't know how to handle it.
She would in her younger ages she would cry a lot, like, because of that. She would like tear. It wouldn't be like a sobbing, it would just be like, she'd shut down, tears down her face, and she'd hide away. But me as a parent, I need to recognize these symptoms or whatever the case is, and I would ask her, like, what's wrong. She would just be like, she doesn't like large crowds. Understandable, it happens. So I put her on in front of the camera, and I've always done photography with her because I see a silly side in her, and it's not so much like I won't post these pictures, but it would just be so that she can feel like there's other people on the other side of the lens, and maybe it would break her out in a social way, but at the same time in private, just me and her, And I would find different ways. Like, I had her on the show, and I did post it. We recorded it. I didn't have the intention on posting it, but I asked her. I let her watch it first, and I'm like, are you okay with this being posted? And it was just her being silly, her telling me about middle school issues. And
I love that.
It was like shits and giggles between her and I, but it made her feel comfortable. She had the headphones on, she had the mic, she was listening to herself. And I think at the time this was last year. We did a Christmas episode, so she was 11 at the time. But she's still shy. And she was like, yeah, you can post it. And I'm seeing her come out of her shell a lot more. And I'm like, chill down. No, not too much now. But she's not crying, she's not doing, and I'm like, I don't know what social anxiety is, so it must be harsh for her, but I want to understand it. I want to know how to better fix it. I want to know how to bring you out.
There you go.
At your own time, at your own pace, and with your permission. Yeah, she's a little kid, but it's still with her permission. Because, I don't know too much about mental health. I've studied a little bit on it. But it's always at that person's comfortability level, and it's when they want to do it. Like, it's not when you want to do it, because you don't know what the fuck is going on in their head. It's when they want to do it.
And I was going to mention that too. Yeah, I was going to mention, you can't do shit. You can't have someone tell you their problems on your time. Can't do that.
Yeah, it's always with permission. stepping on eggshells and with patience. That's how I see it. And it's like, because you don't understand. Now, if I understand and I went through the same thing, maybe I can provide a solution that worked for me. But I've never been there. So I can't sit there and judge her and be like, oh my God, here she goes again. And I would just be like, what's wrong? What's going on? Like, we'll talk in the house. We don't need to talk now. Or I'll tell her, like, go outside, take a breath. That way nobody's looking at you. And then we'll talk about it later. But it's just, it's in general, you know, that's just, I think with everything, you know. Do you want to talk about things in public? No? Okay, we'll talk later. Or you talk when you want to talk.
Of course. And
that's just it.
You gotta respect that shit. And there's nothing, and you gotta fucking respect that shit. And
yeah.
you know, you're doing great. And you're doing great as, you know, as a parent to her. Because she needs that support system from you, and you're doing fucking awesome with that.
Yeah, thank you.
You
That
really
just comes
are.
with also like that whole breaking generational shit. Like growing up, I say it, my mom was fucking Hitler, bro. My mom was like, it would be me and my brother, and then just one story. We had a rotary phone, so there was one time I was
We're
like,
going old school, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna call child services on you. And my mom was like, go ahead, here's the number. Oh my God, we couldn't even get to the second fucking digit because it was like 7, 718 numbers, like 7. By the time we got to that 1, it was like a can of ass whooping just waiting for us. We were like, oh my gosh. But it was like, I don't blame her. I don't question her parenting skills because she was a single mom raising my brother and I in Queens, New York. She had to do what she had to do as a mom. I'm like, the generational gap that I broke was I've never laid a finger on my daughter. I was like, the most I've done was like, don't touch when she was a baby, like if she tried to touch a socket. But I'm like, knowing your kid is knowing what type of punishment, or what type of reprimanding it takes to let them learn. She's the type you speak to her stern, and that's good enough for her to learn her lesson. Like, there's no need to get physical. There's no need to nothing. So I'm like, that's one thing that I'm very proud of myself. I've never laid a finger on her.
Yep.
And but growing up, again, maybe we needed it. We were probably some badass kids growing up. Of course, I don't remember that, because I remember what I want to remember, but we were probably some badass kids, my brother and I. So I don't blame her for that.
I don't blame my mama for saying some shit or doing some shit, but at the same point, she wanted to do what was best for for all of us, for myself, my sister, and my 2 younger brothers. She did what was best for us in the end. And my dad, same thing. And, whenever the day comes when I have kids, I'm gonna be able to provide and do what's best for my kids and my wife to be, and stuff like that. And it's crazy, man. It's fucking nuts. But at the same point, what a fucking awesome show.
You gotta, I love this shit. It's like New York. I feel like you guys are like that cousin, the favorite cousin.
We're definitely the weird cousin. Long Island's the weird cousin. It depends on where you go on Long Island. Sometimes you get the hippies. Sometimes you get the hillbillies. Sometimes you get the people, like where I'm from in particular.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone. Your grandparents knew each other. Your parents knew each other. Yeah, small little beach town. Like, you've seen Jaws, right?
Yeah.
Very similar. Amity Island is very similar to where I'm from. And it's a small little beach town, and it's always going to be home. And if or when I leave Long Island, which you never know when that might be, but in the end, Blue Point, Long Island, New York will always be home to me. And
do they have a brewery? I feel like I heard that in a brewery.
Blue Point Brewery.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, it exists.
Okay.
That is a real thing.
I was like, that name sounds so fucking familiar, but I'm like, I think they have a brewery.
For the audience that is listening, you won't be able to see this. But for you, Liz, and I will show you, I have pictures I took of the sunrise here where I'm from in particular. I just got to find a really good picture of it. And I have a bit of photographer eye myself every now and then, so I can see it.
Okay, I see it. That is
Yep.
beautiful.
So that's what I try to go for, and I like the wide shots. I love that stuff like that, and be able to capture like, hey, this is home, and this is what I like to share with people, and just, hey, this is my comfort zone. I want to share it with you, and I guess that's where the whole idea of this came from. It's like, hey, this is my comfort zone. This is what I want to share with you guys. And if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, okay, no problem. We'll do your thing. And most of the time it's their thing, and that's fine. That's fine, because in the end, if we have a good time, that's what's important. I think we had a good time here.
I think so too. It was good talk. We definitely have to do this again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I'm just now starting to, like, even though I started the podcast, I would say either a year ago, a little under or over a year ago. It's about a year, let's just say. I feel like if I were to be as consistent as I am, like when I do have the time, I feel like I'd be a bit more informed, a bit more knowledgeable on the matter. But right now, like you said, it's more of a hobby thing, and it's also another one of those relief of like just stress and just built up tension, because this is a release at the end of the day.
Of course.
But because I have school, because I have my daughter, like she's such an involved kid, I'm like I have to be there. Like she plays instruments, she goes to a magnet school. I'm not sure if they have those up there, but it's one of those things where it's like
I think so.
It requires like your time and dedication. You can't just half-ass it. And podcast is you can't half-ass it either, because once you start to build up that audience, you have to keep it going, or else they fall off. You know, you it's so easy for you to, lose all that hard work that you've been doing, and it just off of 2 weeks that you miss out on stuff.
I'm gonna tell you this, and if I did this for the viewership, if I did this for the popularity, I would have quit years ago.
Oh yeah.
I would have quit years ago. And the beginning of this show lasted for 43 episodes. It was the Sports Cave. It was a very generic sports talk show with myself and like 3 or 4 other dudes. Mm-hmm. And then I rebranded because this is not what I wanted. I wanted to be able to just, share what the fuck's on my mind, talk about people what the fuck's on their mind, talk some sports, talk wrestling, talk whatever the fuck. And that's what I wanted to do. And you have that going for you. You do. And I know that the cliche is like there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, but in this case, like the tracks are not yet built yet. But you're seeing the formation of that rail line be formed, and it takes a little bit to see it, but then in the end you will see it. And you're never going to find out, hey, this is when it all pans out. You'll never see that. Yeah. You will never see the when. It's like it's Joey Diaz, comedian Joey Diaz, one of my favorite comedians ever, would say something like, in the end, you don't find love. Love finds you. It is the same thing with this.
That's real, yeah.
You don't find the success. The success will find you in the end. And
that's real.
That's what you gotta like understand. And again, you got something going for you. Doing solo podcasting is fucking difficult.
Tell me about it. It's like, what the fuck do I talk about?
And oh my God.
They can't be. It's not like, I think podcast is a conversation between you, and just sharing your differences of opinion.
Yes.
In a form of a conversation. How the fuck do you do that by yourself?
And that's when you learn on the job. That's where you learn on the job. And I'm starting to do. I just started a daily show. It's like 15 minutes of me just rambling about some stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
I started a new daily show, and me and my fiance, we have our own podcast, Smoothly Baked, and it's fucking we're only 3 episodes in, but at the same point, it's a blast. And because we just ramble about what the fuck's going on, like with terms of like wedding shit, engagement party, blah 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 blah. What the fuck's bothering us? Like same shit, you know. It's
Yeah.
and giving advice or what the fuck not Q&As, but in the end, it's find your niche.
Yep.
You're in the process of finding your niche.
Yeah.
Whenever that day comes, I don't know, you don't know, and that's fine. That's fine.
That's dope actually. It's a couple goal.
That's it, and that's all you can do. And don't try to be someone that you're not. Just keep being you. And we're gonna end it on that because it is an hour and a half we've done this.
Yeah. Oh shit! It has the time too. That's dope.
Yeah, I got the time on both ends too. So, and no, it's also we're on the East Coast here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's not.
So
yeah, it's probably like what 7 o'clock down on the west.
Probably 7:30, probably. So with that being said, Liz, I appreciate you doing this. This was a fucking blast.
Appreciate you for having me on here. I did want to end on a bittersweet. If you watched any of my episodes or one of my episodes where I did say that as younger I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. Today is actually Hodgkin's lymphoma Awareness Day, September 15th.
No kidding.
Yeah, so
I
today's
did
a
not
good day.
know that.
Well, there you go. Now you know.
Wow.
Today's Hodgkin's lymphoma Awareness Day, September 15th.
How long have you been cancer free?
I'm going on double now. 17 years.
No shit.
Yeah, man.
Look at you. Fuck yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Fucking amazing.
Hell yeah.
I was 16, going on 17 when I was diagnosed. And then I was good by the time I was 18. So
You go, girl. Fuck yeah.
yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
on that good fight. You know what I'm saying? Just keep
Yeah.
on being you.
Thank you.
So-
Appreciate you, man.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Samuel Smooth. Thank you for joining us for BS Sessions Volume 41. I'm coming to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York. Thanks to Liz of the 109 Podcast for joining the show. And appreciate you all for tuning in. Be sure to follow the show on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, what the fuck, at Time to BS Podcast, at Samuel Smooth. As I said before, I'm coming to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York. And I will see you on this life and most certainly the next one. Cheers, guys.